Everything in there. This is the first series?
No, Hurricane is up 1-0, I believe.
Oh!
Yeah.
And again, according to the graphic I looked at this morning, Stats is overall the highest win rate Protoss player for the past couple of months. And speaking of the highest win rate Protoss player overall, was there ever really any doubt? Because he is the one who blesses the reins. As I quickly pull a question to light, are you free?
Freaka TV
Is the platform that this player is not currently, but you know, in general streams on. He is representing Afrika Freaks all the way from the land of Korea. He is Nick Fury himself. We have Stats. Boys.
and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Everdream LE, we have the teamless Korean player representing himself. It is Hurricane. Out of one PvP into another.
Such is our duty, like, as CranKy Ducklings.
Someone has to do it.
Seemed fitting it would be the two non-Protoss players at CranKy.
Exactly. It feels like we're on the wall, you know, we're like the Night's Watch. Like we've made an oath, we've made a pledge, you know, we do it so others can sleep easy at night.
Exactly. I've taken the oath and now my watch begins to the... How does the Night's Watch oath go again? It's like my watch over... We will guard the shield of ire, something like that.
We will protect the realm of men or whatever.
That's the one.
The shields on the wall, Nick Fury.
We will be the watcher in the dark, something like that.
Yes, that's it. We are. It's perfect, and yeah, we're here. We're joined by Maddox, the Korean caster, as again Renegade. I believe he's Commander. He is the Lord Commander. He speaks to them. He knows their tongue.
I like how we're insinuating that Protoss players are White Walkers.
We are. Oh god.
Or wildlings, depending on your take.
Look, just the ones that work for Hydra, right? Not this one here. Not Nick Fury himself, which we are casting.
That we are. Going up against, I really don't know how I pin down Hurricane, if I'm being honest with you. Like, he is... I feel like he's a player who... He's... In terms of skill, and in terms of, like, you know, performance, he's been up and down. And sort of because of that, it's hard to nail down his playstyle, you know. He has his really high moments, right? Being in, making it to the quarterfinals of GSL last year, or maybe even the semis, if I'm not mistaken. No, I believe it was quarterfinals. You know, this year at IEM, he was the only other player not named Zess who was able to take out Cyril. He's got his moments, but I don't know, I feel like I've just never watched enough of him to really describe how he likes to play.
Yeah, like we've seen him for many years, and he's kind of the dark horse, you know. Like he doesn't have, I don't believe he has anything that really distinguishes his play style to others. Like I think we've been able to do that with players like Bunny and Ragnarok and Armani. Yeah. But Hurricane, I feel like he's still trying to find himself, his kind of his unique identity in the landscape of StarCraft. Well,
luckily he's not going on that journey alone. I would like to find him to figure out how he plays.
Yeah, like 100%. As would I, as he's kind of a regular here in these ESL Open Cups. Like he competes fairly regularly, not just this, but like Olima League as well. So yeah, I'm curious to see how he does, especially because he is up in this series.
Yeah, what happened at game 1?
PvP happened, right? What more is there to say? PvP.
Yeah, no. I guess that is the answer for everything.
Yeah, and Hurricane, he goes in with his adepts. He actually manages to, get up the ramp, but blocked in by those force fields, doesn't really get much done. And so far, stats, he's the shield. He's rock solid at the moment. It's like, not much has really made it through. Here we go, Hurricane is trying to dive in. It is.
And now, pretty good micro coming out from Hurricane right now, pulling away his more injured Phoenixes. But Stats is looking to reciprocate that. He is targeting down just one Phoenix at a time. He really wants to go for the kill. But Hurricane will make it out there.
Oh yeah, and he as his Phoenixes were patrolling, he missed that that worker there throwing down that third base. So it's possible that he would have been able to snipe it off, but that third base did go down for Stats.
It did. Very clutch maneuver of that probe in the end there, being able to plunk down that. It's not Pylon, it's not Warp Prism, it's Pyramid. Nexus, that's the one. Pulling down that Nexus, and Phoenixes can't lift buildings, so.
He was able to throw down that Giza, that, goddamn. That thing that the Pharaoh lives in.
Yeah, that sort of triangular building, not the one that the undead build. Not the Necropolis.
Yeah. I don't think we're allowed to say that. I think that's Warhammer, isn't that? The Necropolis? Is that?
I think it is.
Oh, good. But yeah, so far, like Stats, like he's played this out nicely. He did lose a couple of workers to those Phoenixes, but overall, so far so good. We'll see if Hurricane is able to pull out a Zest and deal even more damage.
Yeah, well, he can continue to try, but Stats with a quick blink will prevent more harassment from these Phoenixes at any rate. And yeah, I have a feeling that as a harassment tool, these Phoenixes have seen the end of their days, really. But don't rule them out just yet. Hurricane is building up a ground force. 5 gateways are now in production. And those Phoenixes are still going to have a lot of utility behind them, depending on how Hurricane decides to use them.
Yeah, definitely. Like, those Phoenixes, like, they can be so useful, so vital in a head-on engagement, like, lifting up Immortals. So even if you have a lower Immortal count, like, you can CC your opponent so that, you have that advantage. Or, doing things like taking out War Prisms as well. Like, there's a lot of utility to these Phoenixes. So it is also so important that you keep them alive heading into the mid-game.
Indeed, it is. It is actually going to be a Robo Bay coming out from Hurricane. The first time we're seeing this in the PvP.
Ooh, Disruptors?
I mean, it can be Colossus. We've seen every now and then, very rarely, some Protoss players like to throw out maybe 4 or 5 Colossus in a PvP, and when you have that many Colossus, the splash damage really adds up. But yeah, no, Disruptors are the much more common. And funnily enough to say this, but yeah, in PvP, they are the more reliable AoE compared to Colossus.
Yeah, definitely. As we do have a move out at the same time. The Phoenixes of Hurricane did just dive in, trying to get some more work harassment damage, but it does also mean that they're not at home.
Yeah, and already Nexus being cancelled here. And, Hurricane did manage to get 5, now even 6 flips out of that, so actually pretty worthwhile damage, and Stats is actually not pursuing this.
Yeah, he's not pressing the issue, if you will. Like, he just canceled the base, backs off, and to be fair, like, take your wins where you can get them, right? Like, you get a base, back off, just macro up, right? You have that advantage.
That you will. And Stats is just trying to be as patient as can be, but now realizing, yeah, you're really focusing a lot on those Phoenixes, aren't you? What do you have at home? I'm gonna have a little bit of a look-see and see if I can drive it back in.
Yeah, he's gonna be harassing with these Zealots, but he has to be careful. There are Stalkers in position. I say that, but he's moving his Stalkers away. Oh god.
But immediately blinks on top of this. The Warp Prism goes down, and Stats, if he decides to push in, he is gonna have to kill Hurricane. But he realizes this as well, so he's going to be taking the safer option, backing away, waiting for that second Warp Prism, and hopefully by the time that's done, we'll have a couple of Archons with him.
Yeah, now I'm curious to see what Hurricane's going to do. Is he just going to go for a straight-up 2-base all-in? Is he going to throw down a third behind this? But it looks like he's going for that push. He is pushing out. He has 3 Disruptors, which, to be fair, Stats does have Blink, so he can blink away from the first couple of shots, but he still has to be careful with the way he micros his army.
Indeed, he does. I can really see kind of what a difference having a Warp Prism makes. Hurricane, no way to reinforce this at all. Really has to survive as long as he can. Blinks forward, Stats does, meaning that he could not blink away with those Stalkers, but did manage to get a hot pickup in the end. Very good use of these force fields. Will be able to prevent Hurricane from really diving on in. But Purification of us do not care about force fields, I can tell you that much.
Exactly. Hurricane, unlike Stats, doesn't have any Archons to break those force fields, so he has to be careful, and it looks like he's getting flanked.
He is starting to get flanked. Nice little Purification Nova coming out from Hurricane, but he's going to have to get a couple more. That was another really good hit, actually. And that Purification Nova landing on a lot of Immortals, not really a lot of the other army. We can see the Phoenixes really helping out, and the Warp Prism comes in for Hurricane as well. Is he going to be able to break this? The army supply of Stats starting to plummet. But as the Warp Prism gets taken out, Stats is retaking control of this fight and this game. GG is called. Stats bringing this to the ace match. What a frantic fight that was.
That was.
You know what that looked like? Like that looked like throwing a lot of soldiers into a hurricane, letting them duke them out.
That was just a bowl of Protoss. That's what that was, and I had no idea what was happening. You know, War Prisms were going down for both players. Disruptor hits were landing as well, and that really could have gone either way. Like, it was looking really good for Hurricane, and then as soon as that War Prism went down for Hurricane, like, it just swung in Stats' favor. And yeah, GG.
G to the G. This is why, you know, warping in is such an essential mechanic for Protoss. Or rather, I should say, because of how warp-ins are such a fundamental mechanic for Protoss, this is why having the Warp Prism is really a unit that you cannot ignore. Really a unit that you have to keep alive.
Yeah, definitely, and we saw that come into play here. We've seen that throughout the entirety of today, actually. We've cast a lot of PvPs, and yeah, that Warp Prism is so crucial, and we'll see if that comes into play here as we are getting into that ace match. We're tied up, and oh boy.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. We are going to be moving on into... I actually have a bit of an update here, Light. Trap beats Armani 2-0, so we will have at least one more PvT this evening, and then potentially have nothing but PvP, so yeah, Protoss.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Mate, we are the men of the night watch, okay?
We sworn an oath.
We did.
Our watch is not quite ended.
We're not like Jon Snow. We're not being a turncloak. We're here.
We're not getting stabbed.
Oh boy. And everyone else in the chat as well.
Spoilers
watching.
by a 9-year-old book, by the way.
Exactly. Everyone else here in the chat, we're going through this together.
That we are. We're all Black Brothers now. We're all crows. And speaking of brothers, here we are in Def LE. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we have the blue Protoss. The man coming down all the way from Korea, blessing the rains down under. He is representing a freak of freaks. We have the Shield of Fire himself. It is Stats.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Death Aura LE, we have the other Korean Protoss player. He is currently teamless. He is Hurricane.
All right. And we were kind of wondering, you know, what happened that game number 1? We weren't able to cast that. And honestly, just looking at what happened in game number 2, I have to imagine that, or at least my theory is that game number 1 may or may not have went similarly to game number 2. It's just that Hurricane was able to take a small win here and there and translate that into a victory.
Yeah, honestly, like, Hurricane's his engagements were pretty good. Like, the damage he was doing with his Phoenixes were really good as well. I will just say that Stats, like, again, he's a shield. Like, he had his third base up and running. He had that economy behind him, so it's kind of a difficult to break. And here we have, again, Hurricane being the aggressor, throwing down that proxy.
Yeah, right in front of Stats' face here. I guess not really in front of his face, but to the side of his face. You know, where you don't
Outside
just outside your peripheral vision, yeah. So, you know, potentially Stats can see this if he, you know, goes for a bit of an early vision kind of thingy.
Yeah, and he could be going for it because, like, he got a full scout off, and now we have the probe, and it's headed towards that proxy location. Like, it's kind of a common one, and yeah, the probe for Stats. Oh no, he turned around.
Is not going to be able to see the Stargate, and the Oracle is looking to go into the main. The Stalkers are being rallied away from the mineral line, but there is going to be a shield battery in position. This makes it impossible for a single Oracle to one-shot these probes.
Yeah, shield batteries are pretty good, and here we go, the Oracle is diving in.
But what about a stasis ward light?
Oh, what a big brain!
Are we talking about Stats moving the workers away, or are we talking about Hurricane putting the stasis wards in? Because either way, those are pretty big brain moves here.
It was, and we were talking about it, right? Like, if there's a shield battery there, then activating that pulsar beam really does nothing. So it's so smart of Hurricane to go for that.
It's a really good way of depleting your Oracle's energy, though.
Yeah, I guess so.
You got something going for it.
And there we go. Hurricane actually committed to 2 Oracles, and with 2 Oracles, you can out DPS that shield battery.
You absolutely can, but again, because he went for that stasis ward, this Oracle is fresh out of energy. Could only get 2 probes, and yeah, as we were saying, 2 Oracles are enough to one-shot these out DPS the shield batteries. But now Hurricane essentially only has 1.
Yeah, and the one with the highest energy has the least amount of health as well, so he has to be careful the next time he dives in. Hurricane, he does, you know, throw down his natural, he expands, but it is later than his opponent, and his adepts are getting caught out as well.
They do get caught out. Hurricane able to take a couple of more probes here.
Yeah, he needs to be careful with those Oracles. Like, one of them is in the red. Like, he needs to calm down.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a recall just yet. But
yeah,
Hurricane, he's committed.
Yeah, he's trying to find as much damage as he can with this, and you know, he is, you know, chilling and regaining those shields so he can dive in once more. We'll see if he's able to get some more damage done, or if Stats is on top of his defense, and he's going in.
Will go in for another round, and again, unfortunately, not quite a lot of energy here. This Oracle, it has seen the light like multiple different times. That's just been brought back from the edge.
He's blind, right? He's been blinded by the light. Like, it's just, he's seen it too many times, and now he's just limping along. Oh god, he has to be so careful with that Oracle, and I mean, you know, props to him. Like, he's been able to, you know, get like more and more damage done. You know, 5 worker kills in total, and kept them both alive for now. Oh god. Oh no!
It's still alive! Light!
Oh my god, you can do it, buddy. Stay alive till the end of the game. You can do it. I believe in you, as Hurricane is pushing out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that end might just come pretty soon. Hurricane, win or lose, he's looking to end it. Oh, the recall, only getting one of these Oracles. Kinda surprising. But
yeah,
at the same time, it's only 2 adepts.
Yeah, that may have been a mistake. I think maybe he wanted both. I'm not too sure, but looks like the Oracle deals with 1. The other is still alive, and here we go. The push is coming.
Yeah, and as you can see, 6 damage done already. 7 probes down on Hurricane's side. If he wasn't all in before, he absolutely is right now. He's down 18 workers at the moment.
Jesus
way behind
Christ.
tech.
Yeah, he is 100% all in at the moment, and he does have the immortal advantage at the moment. But Stats, he's immortal just finished up, so he has that. He has 2 shield batteries. He has shield battery overcharge as well. He is the Shield of Ire, and it is being put to the test right now.
It really kind of is. But at the same time, this is just about the best defensive position that Stats could really prepare for himself. So Hurricane, he is fighting an even more uphill battle.
Yeah, he is, and the force fields are decent. You know, he's trying to get as much value as he can with his engagement, and you know, he's picking off a couple of units. He's even CCing some. Yeah,
pretty nicely done. Battery overcharge not used just yet. The Immortal has been trapped here on the ramp, and that is going to help out Hurricane so much. Lifts on the Immortal as well, and now a storm is going on but it looks like Stats is going to have just enough to overpower this. Takes on the Warp Prism, and GG is going to be called.
GG, well played. Stats, you know, showing us why he is known as the Shield of Fire. He defends beautifully at his natural, and to be fair, Hurricane, he had some pretty sick moves.
He didn't even have to use Overcall. Overcall? No, battery overcharge.
Yeah.
What a match. And there we have it. Just as we come out of that, Cure versus Dream has ended 2-0 in Cure's favor. We have our two semifinals, a PvP and a TVP. Going into the grand finals, we're going to have either a PvP or a TVP.
Yeah, both semis are ready, so we will, as you know, it does kind of change from week to week. We will decide on whether we will cast both simultaneously or one at a time.